Imagine waking up on a planet where every breath could be your last. A world where towering plants pulse with bioluminescent light, and creatures that defy logic hunt under a sky painted in hues no human has ever seen. After their ship crashes on this uncharted alien planet, a team of explorers must face an ecosystem unlike anything Earth has ever known. From carnivorous flora to shape-shifting predators, survival becomes a game of wit, courage, and adaptation. But as they delve deeper into this strange new world, they uncover secrets that challenge everything they thought they knew about life itself. What lies beneath the surface of this alien paradise? And can humanity endure what it demands? Subscribe now for an epic journey into the unknown. The crash was sudden, violent, and disorienting. One moment, there had been calm, the hum of engines, the quiet chatter over comms, and then chaos erupted. The ship buckled under unseen forces, alarms blaring like banshees as gravity pulled them towards something vast and unforgiving. When consciousness returned, the survivors found themselves surrounded by wreckage scattered across an alien landscape. The ground beneath them shimmered faintly, not dirt or sand, but some crystalline substance that refracted light into prismatic patterns. Above loomed a sky painted in swirling colors, violet clouds streaked with gold, shifting constantly as if alive. It was beautiful, yet unsettling. This was no place humans were meant to tread. Each member of the crew moved slowly at first, assessing injuries, gathering supplies from the wreckage. Their equipment was damaged, communication devices flickered sporadically before dying completely. Panic lingered just below the surface, but training kicked in. They began cataloging their surroundings, noting how the air smelled faintly metallic despite being breathable. Strange plants towered nearby, their translucent leaves glowing softly in rhythmic pulses. Some emitted low, melodic hums, almost musical, while others seemed to lean closer, reacting to movement. These weren't ordinary plants, they felt sentient, watching. A distant sound broke through the eerie stillness, a deep, guttural growl followed by a rustling noise. Whatever made it wasn't close, but it was out there. The realization sent shivers down spines already chilled by the unfamiliarity of their situation. Survival here would require more than resourcefulness, it would demand understanding. Understanding not just of this alien ecosystem but also of themselves, because fear could kill faster than any predator lurking in the shadows. Daylight, or what passed for daylight on this planet, revealed even stranger details. The horizon stretched endlessly, dotted with formations that defied classification. Jagged structures resembling coral reefs jutted upward, glowing faintly at their tips. Between these formations grew clusters of bulbous fungi-like organisms, oozing viscous liquid that pooled around their bases. Touching one resulted in immediate burning sensations, forcing caution when navigating the terrain. Movement became deliberate, every step calculated to avoid triggering unseen dangers. As hours passed, hunger gnawed at stomachs and used to such deprivation. Food rations dwindled quickly, leaving little choice but to investigate potential sources of sustenance. One crew member approached a cluster of smaller plants, their stems adorned with fruit-like pods. Vibrant red exteriors glistened invitingly, though tiny thorns protruded menacingly along their surfaces. Carefully, using tools salvaged from the wreckage, the pod was pried open. Inside lay gelatinous flesh, quivering slightly as if aware of its fate. A cautious taste confirmed it wasn't toxic, though the flavor was sharp and metallic. Not ideal, but edible. Meanwhile, others focused on securing shelter. Nightfall brought plummeting temperatures, cold enough to freeze exposed skin within minutes. Using debris from the crashed ship, they constructed rudimentary barriers against the biting wind. Yet sleep eluded them. Beyond the makeshift walls, sounds echoed ominously, scuttling movements, clicks, whistles. Shadows flitted past gaps in the barricade, too fast to identify clearly. Every instinct screamed danger, urging vigilance. Trust wasn't afforded easily here. Trust belonged to familiarity, and nothing about this world was familiar. Exploration expanded cautiously outward. Each day unveiled new layers of complexity within the alien ecosystem. Streams of liquid flowed sluggishly across the land. Not water, but something thicker, darker, exuding a faint phosphorescence. Testing revealed it contained organic compounds similar to amino acids, hinting at possibilities beyond mere hydration. Perhaps this fluid held answers to sustaining human life indefinitely. Or perhaps it harbored unseen perils waiting to strike. Creatures emerged during twilight, drawn by the dimming light. Some resembled insects magnified to monstrous proportions, their chitinous bodies gleaming iridescently. Others bore no resemblance to terrestrial species whatsoever. Amorphous blobs, shifting shapes unpredictably, trailing tendrils that lashed out at anything nearby. Observing these entities provided clues to their behavior. Many appeared territorial, attacking only when provoked. Others displayed signs of intelligence, circling prey methodically before striking. Adaptability became key, learning which threats posed imminent danger versus those better avoided entirely. One discovery stood apart: a massive tree-like organism dominating a nearby clearing. Its trunk glowed faintly, branching outward into fractal patterns reminiscent of lightning frozen mid-strike. At its base lay piles of discarded exoskeletons, evidence of molting cycles, or perhaps something more sinister. Closer inspection revealed cavities within the trunk, hollow chambers lined with fibrous material pulsating rhythmically. Was this a nest? A trap? Both? Answers remained elusive, but fascination compelled further investigation. Time blurred together, marked only by shifts in the alien sky's chromatic dance. Days stretched longer than Earth's standard rotation, nights equally prolonged. Fatigue weighed heavily, exacerbated by constant tension. Rest came fitfully, interrupted by nightmares fueled by daytime horrors. Dreams bled into reality, distorting perception. Shadows lengthened unnaturally, twisting into forms that vanished upon blinking. Hallucinations crept in, whispering doubts and fears. Sanity teetered precariously on the edge of collapse. Yet amidst despair, resilience sparked. Bonds formed among the crew, forged through shared adversity. Strengths complemented weaknesses, creating synergy essential for survival. Leadership rotated organically, decisions driven by consensus rather than hierarchy. Unity proved vital, anchoring minds adrift in uncertainty. Together, they devised strategies for long-term sustainability. Improvised tools transformed into functional implements. Repurposed materials crafted into protective gear. Innovation thrived under duress, necessity birthing ingenuity. Each small victory, whether it was crafting a new tool or finding a safer way to collect water, became a beacon of hope in an otherwise bleak existence. Exploration became more methodical as days passed. The crew mapped out safe zones and danger areas, marking them with makeshift signs made from wreckage debris. They began categorizing the flora and fauna based on behavior patterns, noting which species were passive feeders and which turned aggressive when provoked. One particular plant species, nicknamed the Watcher, caught their attention due to its peculiar habit of retracting its leaves whenever someone approached too closely. It seemed almost sentient, reacting not just to touch, but even to sound. This discovery led to experiments where they tested different stimuli, sound, light, vibrations, to see how far the plant's sensory range extended. Their findings hinted at a level of intelligence previously unseen in vegetation. But progress carried risks. Venturing farther from camp exposed vulnerabilities. Predators learned routines, stalking hunters who dared encroach upon claimed territories. One encounter nearly ended disastrously. A sleek quadruped ambushed from behind thick foliage, jaws snapping inches from vulnerable flesh. Quick reflexes saved lives. But scars ran deeper than physical wounds. Fear morphed into respect, acknowledgement of nature's brutal efficiency. Balance tipped precariously between coexistence and annihilation. Every step forward felt like walking a tightrope over an abyss. One misstep could spell disaster. Seasons shifted subtly, marked by changes in vegetation growth cycles. Plants bloomed explosively overnight, releasing clouds of spores that sparkled like stardust. Breathing them triggered mild euphoria, dulling pain temporarily. Overuse led to dependency, however, clouding judgment until clarity returned days later. Lessons learned painfully underscored reliance on natural remedies. Caution dictated moderation, prioritizing health over fleeting relief. Amidst botanical wonders, fauna evolved uniquely suited to environment. Winged creatures soared overhead, membranous appendages catching thermal currents generated by geothermal activity. Below, burrowing animals tunneled through crystalline soil, leaving trails visible only briefly before fading seamlessly back into surroundings. Observation yielded insights into symbiotic relationships, plants providing shelter while receiving nutrients derived from animal waste. Harmony existed, albeit tenuous, sustained by delicate equilibrium disrupted easily by external interference. The team marveled at this intricate web of life, realizing that every action they took had ripple effects across the ecosystem. To minimize disruption, they developed protocols for interacting with the environment. Tools designed to harvest resources without causing harm replaced crude methods initially employed. For instance, instead of uprooting entire plants for sustenance, they learned to prune selectively, allowing regrowth while still meeting their needs. Similarly, hunting practices adapted to target older or weaker members of animal populations, ensuring minimal impact on breeding cycles. These adjustments required patience and precision, but paid off in maintaining ecological stability. Survivors adapted accordingly, mimicking observed behaviors to blend inconspicuously. Camouflage techniques improved, utilizing local resources creatively. Dyed fabrics imitated plant textures, body paint replicated modeled patterns enhancing concealment. Stealth became second nature, movement silent despite cumbersome gear. Patience rewarded persistence, granting access previously denied due to recklessness. Knowledge accumulated incrementally, piecing together puzzle fragments forming clearer picture overall. They started documenting everything meticulously, not just for survival purposes, but also because there was something profoundly humbling about witnessing life thrive in such extraordinary ways. Communication barriers persisted despite growing comprehension. Alien languages lacked recognizable phonetics, relying instead on visual cues and sent signals incomprehensible without context. Attempts at interaction often ended disastrously, misinterpretations provoking hostility. Gradually, nonverbal exchanges replaced verbal efforts, gestures conveying intent supplemented by offerings symbolizing goodwill. Progress remained slow, fraught with setbacks challenging resolve. Despite obstacles, breakthroughs occurred unexpectedly. Encountering intelligent beings altered dynamics fundamentally. Tall, slender figures draped in flowing garments approached cautiously, curiosity evident despite wariness. Eyes devoid of pupils scanned intruders intently, evaluating intention silently. Initial contact involved cautious proximity testing, neither side advancing aggressively. Slowly, trust built reciprocally, gestures interpreted correctly fostering mutual understanding. These beings, whom the crew dubbed the luminaries, communicated through bioluminescent patterns that pulsed across their skin. Deciphering these signals became a priority, leading to collaborative efforts involving both groups experimenting with various forms of expression. Gifts exchanged hands tentatively, shiny trinkets offered alongside samples native produce. Reciprocation included intricate carvings depicting celestial events significant culturally. Meaningful dialogue commenced haltingly. Concepts conveyed abstractly requiring interpretation patience. Time invested paid dividends eventually, rapport strengthening exponentially once common ground established securely. Shared meals became opportunities for bonding, though dietary preferences differed vastly. While the crew relied on modified versions of local food sources, the luminaries consumed energy directly absorbed from sunlight, their translucent bodies glowing faintly during meals. This newfound alliance opened doors to deeper exploration. Guided tours led by the luminaries revealed hidden aspects of the planet never before seen by human eyes. Caverns illuminated by naturally occurring crystals cast rainbows across walls, while underground rivers flowed with liquid metal reflecting eerie blue light. Each revelation added layers to their understanding of this alien world, reinforcing the idea that survival here wasn't just about enduring, it was about thriving within a system far greater than themselves. Through perseverance, however, harmony prevailed. Both parties recognized the importance of mutual dependence in achieving shared goals. Gratitude was expressed openly, strengthening bonds forged in adversity. These connections were unbreakable, born from collective endurance and triumph over overwhelming odds. Survival on this alien planet once seemed improbable, yet it had been achieved remarkably, a testament to humanity's indomitable spirit, resilience, and adaptability. Together, they envisioned a better future, one where humans and the luminaries could coexist peacefully, even prosperously. Exploration expanded as trust deepened. Guided by their new allies, the crew ventured into regions previously deemed too dangerous or inaccessible. One such area was a sprawling biome dominated by towering crystalline trees that hummed with energy. Their translucent trunks glowed faintly, casting prismatic light across the landscape. Beneath these trees grew clusters of bioluminescent fungi, pulsing rhythmically like synchronized heartbeats. The air here felt charged, almost electric, invigorating those who dared to step within its bounds. It became clear that this place held some form of natural power, perhaps the same energy the luminaries absorbed directly from sunlight. The crew began experimenting with ways to harness this energy for practical use. Using salvaged equipment, they constructed rudimentary devices capable of capturing and storing the ambient radiation emitted by the crystals. Initial tests yielded promising results. The stored energy could power small tools and even recharge portable communication units. For the first time since the crash, there was hope of re-establishing contact with Earth, or at least sending out a distress signal strong enough to reach passing spacecraft. This discovery reignited a sense of purpose among the survivors, reminding them that survival wasn't just about enduring, but also about finding a way home. As resource collection efforts intensified, so did encounters with more aggressive native species. A particularly fearsome predator emerged during one expedition, a massive quadruped covered in iridescent scales that shimmered like liquid metal. Its elongated jaws housed rows of razor-sharp teeth, and its movements were eerily silent despite its size. Dubbed the Phantom Stalker by the crew, this creature proved nearly impossible to evade. Camouflage techniques that worked against other predators failed miserably when facing it, as if the beast relied on senses beyond sight or sound to track prey. The Phantom Stalker attacked without warning, striking swiftly before retreating into the dense foliage. Each encounter left the team shaken but determined to find a solution. Observations revealed patterns in its behavior. It preferred hunting near water sources and avoided open terrain. Armed with this knowledge, the crew devised a strategy combining diversion tactics and improvised traps. Working alongside the luminaries, who contributed their own insights about the predator's weaknesses, they managed to construct a barrier system designed to funnel the creature away from populated areas. Though not foolproof, it significantly reduced casualties. These challenges underscored the importance of collaboration, not only between humans and the luminaries but also within the crew itself. Every individual brought unique skills to the table, whether it was engineering ingenuity, medical expertise, or tactical planning. Leadership roles shifted fluidly based on circumstances, ensuring decisions were made efficiently and effectively. Trust became the cornerstone of their operation, binding them together through trials that would have fractured lesser groups. With basic survival needs addressed, attention turned toward long-term sustainability. Agriculture experiments commenced using modified versions of local flora. Certain plants proved highly nutritious when processed correctly, providing essential vitamins and minerals lacking in their limited diet. Others secreted compounds with medicinal properties, offering potential treatments for ailments caused by prolonged exposure to alien environments. Cultivating these resources required careful management of soil composition and irrigation methods, tasks made easier thanks to guidance from the luminaries. Simultaneously, efforts focused on improving shelter infrastructure. The initial makeshift camp evolved into a fortified settlement, complete with reinforced barriers and modular living quarters constructed from repurposed wreckage. Solar panels scavenged from the ship supplemented energy harvested from crystalline forests, creating a hybrid power grid capable of sustaining operations indefinitely. Innovations continued to emerge organically, driven by necessity and fueled by creativity. For example, excess fungal biomass was converted into biofuel, further diversifying energy sources while reducing waste. Social dynamics within the group adapted accordingly. As stability increased, so did morale. Celebrations marked milestones, successful harvests, breakthroughs in technology, anniversaries of survival. These moments fostered camaraderie, reinforcing bonds strained by constant stress. Shared laughter and storytelling provided brief respites from reality, reminding everyone what they fought so hard to preserve: humanity itself. Despite progress, mysteries lingered. The planet harbored secrets far deeper than surface-level observations suggested. During routine mapping expeditions, the crew stumbled upon an ancient structure partially buried beneath layers of crystalline sediment. Its architecture defied explanation, composed of interlocking geometric patterns unlike anything seen before. Bioluminescent veins ran throughout the material, glowing softly as though alive. Touching the surface triggered faint vibrations, resonating harmoniously with nearby plants and animals. Curiosity compelled further investigation. Tools designed for excavation uncovered intricate carvings depicting scenes of celestial events intertwined with depictions of the luminaries. Symbols resembling mathematical equations hinted at advanced knowledge possessed by whoever, or whatever, had built this enigmatic monument. Speculation arose regarding the possibility of prior civilizations having inhabited the planet, raising questions about their fate and whether remnants of their technology still existed elsewhere. Collaboration with the luminaries deepened as both groups sought answers. Through painstaking trial-and-error communication methods, fragments of information surfaced. The luminaries referred to the structure as the nexus, describing it as a conduit linking physical existence with something greater, an abstract concept difficult to translate accurately. Regardless, the implications were profound. If true, understanding the nexus might unlock untold possibilities, bridging gaps between worlds or dimensions unknown. Research intensified around the nexus, drawing resources away from other projects temporarily. Teams worked tirelessly analyzing data collected from various sensors placed inside and outside the structure. Patterns emerged suggesting fluctuations in gravitational fields and electromagnetic activity correlated with specific planetary alignments. Hypotheses proposed that the nexus functioned as a gateway activated under precise conditions, potentially enabling travel beyond conventional space-time constraints. Testing these theories proved challenging yet exhilarating. Controlled experiments involved manipulating environmental variables, temperature, humidity, light exposure, to replicate hypothesized activation states. Success came unexpectedly during a rare astronomical event where multiple moons aligned perfectly overhead. The nexus vibrated violently, emitting a blinding flash of light followed by eerie silence. When visibility returned, subtle changes permeated the surrounding area. Colors appeared richer, sounds sharper, scents more potent. Even time seemed distorted momentarily, minutes stretching unnaturally before snapping back to normalcy. Though inconclusive, these findings sparked renewed determination. Unlocking the nexus's full potential required patience and precision, qualities abundant among the crew after months of adaptation. Meanwhile, daily life carried on, balancing scientific pursuits with practical necessities. Each step forward illuminated paths previously obscured, revealing glimpses of a future shaped by cooperation and innovation. Amidst chaos, beauty endured. Sunsets painted skies with kaleidoscopic hues unimaginable on Earth. Nights glittered with constellations unfamiliar yet mesmerizing. Life thrived vibrantly, resilient against all odds. Witnessing such splendor reminded the crew why perseverance mattered, not merely for survival but for preserving wonder inherent in exploration itself. The alien world, though harsh and unforgiving, was also breathtakingly alive. Every glowing plant, every shimmering creature, every iridescent cloud seemed to whisper secrets of existence far beyond human comprehension. Yet, this beauty came at a price. The same forces that fueled the planet's vibrancy also posed constant threats. Microscopic spores carried by winds caused allergic reactions in some crew members, forcing them to adapt their protective gear further. Intense radiation spikes during solar flares required immediate retreats into underground shelters hastily constructed with the luminaries' guidance. Even the soil beneath their feet occasionally shifted unpredictably, swallowing tools or supplies whole as if alive. Each challenge demanded not just physical endurance but mental fortitude, pushing the survivors to their limits daily. Despite these hardships, moments of connection kept spirits high. Shared meals became rituals where stories were exchanged, tales of Earth's blue skies and green forests mingled with descriptions of alien wonders witnessed firsthand. Bonds deepened between humans and the luminaries, who began participating more actively in communal activities. Their presence brought an aura of calm, their bioluminescent patterns shifting soothingly during gatherings. These interactions reinforced the idea that coexistence wasn't just possible, it was essential for thriving. Months blended seamlessly, seasons transitioning imperceptibly. Time lost meaning beyond cycles dictated by planetary rhythms. Progress slowed slightly as routines solidified, comfort creeping in cautiously. Yet complacency remained dangerous. The planet never ceased testing its inhabitants. One day, while exploring a newly discovered valley filled with towering fungal blooms, the team encountered a phenomenon unlike anything they'd seen before. A dense mist rolled in unexpectedly, obscuring visibility entirely. Within moments, disorientation set in, directions blurred, distances warped, and voices echoed unnaturally. Panic threatened to take hold until one member noticed faint luminescent trails leading outward. Following these trails guided them safely back to camp, leaving questions about the mist's origin unanswered. Further investigation revealed similar occurrences happened sporadically across different regions. The luminaries explained it as the veil, a natural barrier protecting sacred areas from intruders. Whether intentional or coincidental, encounters with the veil underscored the planet's sentience, a living entity guarding its secrets jealously. This revelation added layers to ongoing research efforts, particularly around the Nexus. Could the veil and the Nexus be connected? Was the entire ecosystem part of a larger network governed by rules humanity couldn't yet grasp? These mysteries fueled debates late into the night. Some argued focusing solely on practical survival needs was wiser than chasing abstract theories. Others believed unraveling the planet's enigmas held the key to long-term prosperity or escape. Balancing pragmatism with curiosity became a delicate dance, requiring compromise and collaboration. Ultimately, both approaches complemented each other, ensuring steady progress without neglecting either aspect. The crew began documenting every interaction with phenomena like the veil meticulously, noting patterns and anomalies. They hypothesized that certain environmental triggers, such as temperature shifts or electromagnetic fluctuations, might activate these events. To test this theory, portable sensors were deployed throughout affected zones, collecting data over weeks. Early results hinted at correlations between geothermal activity and increased frequency of the veil's appearances, suggesting localized hotspots might serve as conduits for whatever energy powered it. Understanding these mechanics could provide insights into manipulating or avoiding similar occurrences in the future. As winter approached, or what passed for winter on this alien world, the landscape transformed dramatically. Bioluminescent plants dimmed, conserving energy during colder months. Streams thickened, their liquid metal content freezing partially along edges. Creatures burrowed deeper underground, leaving surface areas eerily quiet. For the crew, this seasonal shift meant adjusting strategies once again. Food storage became critical as many edible plants entered dormancy. Hunting intensified, targeting migrating species moving toward warmer regions. During one such hunt, the team stumbled upon another startling discovery. Caverns teeming with crystalline formations emitting low-frequency vibrations. These crystals resonated harmoniously when struck lightly, producing melodic tones reminiscent of musical instruments. Intrigued, they experimented with arranging smaller shards into rudimentary instruments, creating hauntingly beautiful melodies that echoed through the caves. The luminaries reacted visibly to these sounds, their bioluminescent patterns synchronizing rhythmically with the music. It seemed sound played a significant role in communication here, bridging gaps words alone couldn't span. This newfound understanding inspired creative solutions to lingering challenges. Sound-based deterrence proved effective against smaller predators, driving them away without causing harm. Musical patterns even helped soothe injured animals, accelerating healing processes. Artistic expression flourished alongside scientific inquiry, reminding everyone of humanity's capacity for innovation under duress. Through creativity, survival transcended mere necessity. It became celebration. Additional 500 symbols. The interplay between sound and environment extended beyond practical applications. Exploring deeper into the crystalline caverns revealed intricate carvings etched directly into walls, depicting scenes accompanied by notations resembling musical scales. These markings suggested ancient cultures had harnessed sound intentionally, perhaps using it to interact with the nexus or control environmental conditions. Testing this hypothesis involved replicating sequences played on makeshift instruments near the nexus site. While definitive results eluded them, subtle changes in ambient energy levels hinted at potential connections worth investigating further. Music, it seemed, might unlock doors science alone couldn't open. By now, the crew no longer saw themselves as mere visitors stranded on an alien world. They were part of this ecosystem, integral threads woven into its fabric. Adaptation evolved naturally, instincts honed sharp by experience. Survival transformed from desperate struggle to symbiotic harmony, achieved through respect and understanding. The planet gave generously but demanded equally. Its gifts came wrapped in trials requiring wisdom to unwrap fully. As years passed, dreams of returning to Earth faded gradually. Not out of despair but acceptance. Here lay opportunities unparalleled elsewhere, chances to redefine humanity's relationship with nature, technology, and itself. Together with the luminaries, they forged a society built on mutual growth rather than exploitation. Innovations born from necessity reshaped lives profoundly, blurring lines between human ingenuity and alien insight. One evening, standing beneath a sky ablaze with unfamiliar stars, a crew member reflected silently. The journey had been arduous, fraught with loss and uncertainty. But it had also been extraordinary, an odyssey redefining courage, resilience, and hope. Whatever lay ahead, they faced it together, not as conquerors but collaborators, stewards of a shared destiny. Subscribe now to continue exploring incredible stories like this one.